Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Can anyone hear me? I just did something really silly, and just want to check we're working all right. There's Maff. Okay, let's come to the stage. Oh yeah, how you doing?
Yeah, not bad, thanks. Yeah,
So
just got here in time. Well, got here late, but I'll count it as just in time.
well, I just sent you a link right at the last minute, and I tell you the reason I did that was because when I do the stuff on Stonksy with Dave, we both got access to the StreamYard thing, so we don't need to send each other a link. And of course, we haven't got that here because we're using the cheapskate version of StreamYard. So
still in the Stone Ages.
Yeah. Well, cheap. I don't know, the cheap seats.
The cheap ages.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we're good so far. Do you? Well, I don't know. Shall I do a bit of an intro?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's do it the professional way. Just
okay. Right. I should probably get something on the screen, really, shouldn't I? That's probably what I should do. I must admit, I've been a bit busy today, actually. Let me just shut this window.
Sure.
Yeah, I've been doing quite a lot of things, and I've been trying to get that landing page for the indicator sorted. Now let me just close down a few tabs. Actually, that should do.
Sure.
Right. Totally professional. I've got too many things open. Right. Okay. So I'm going to present my screen first of all, and then I'll tell you what as well. I kind of cleared my computer out a little bit as well. So I kind of at the same time I deleted cookies and all that kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And so I had to like give access to the microphone again and all that kind of thing. Anyway, so yeah.
So was that all on the Stonksy stream earlier on?
No, because I was using a different computer for that. Because I've
okay, yeah.
I tend to
like to think that you were kind of ironing out all the issues and things.
Well, kind of, yeah.
now you're onto the live stream that really matters.
Oh no, I've now got powered by StreamYard up in the corner as well, rather than our logo. Never mind. Anyway,
that wasn't there before, was it?
No, it wasn't, and I was really pleased that it wasn't, because you're supposed to get that on the free version, and I thought I got round it. Yeah, interesting. I might have a look while you're doing your thing. Anyway, right, let's start. Okay, right. So hello everyone. I think we've only got a few here, but hello Crypto J and hello the Max, and I can still do that, can't I? That's good. Right. I wonder if I actually I might have deleted the actual icon. You know, maybe that was it. I'll have a look in a moment.
Yeah, anyway, it probably is, because that's probably like the default, like the go-to.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. Okay, right. So my name's savewith.crypto, and I'm from the YouTube channel called savewith.crypto, which I think is what you're watching now. So you're probably well aware of that. With me, I've got Matt, aka Maff, who is a coder that I found at the bottom of my garden, and like it.
Trying to think what I was doing down there.
Well, I don't know. He just sort of came out of nowhere, and he said, "I've done some modification to this indicator you've got, and you basically transformed it into a monster, and then the monster was given a name by one of the people in our Telegram group called Britstralian, who decided to call it not Godzilla but Quadzilla, and that's where we are now with this indicator that we have now. And the idea is, let me just turn it off. The idea is that you have, I mean, you can actually do this with the most basic free version of TradingView, because it is essentially just one indicator to do a hell of a lot, really. So I'll just turn it on. And initially it was just this kind of momentum oscillator down here to give you an idea of like when an asset is overbought or oversold. So you're looking for the kind of turning points in the chart where it's going to, you know, get to a top or get to a bottom. Also, for a while I've been playing with these EMAs. So the yellow one is a 21 EMA, and the green one is a 55 EMA, and I've been playing with those as well. And mainly because when they cross this way, this is the 1 hour time frame, but when they cross this way, this is normally a pretty good sign that the trend is going to go to the upside. And when they cross the other way, the trend is going to continue down to the downside. And that was fantastic. So Maff put in these shaded areas here, and I think that's when it reaches a certain angle of convergence. Is that what it does?
Yeah,
okay.
That's right. So there's a few different settings that go into that. So there is a bit of a kind of history behind it, I suppose. Like we were talking about it. I remember, because I was trying to figure out a way to actually get an angle in TradingView, in PineScript, and it turns out it's surprisingly unreliable to actually get a particular angle. So instead of having to look at the rate of change over a number of previous bars,
right.
so you just do the slightest thing to the price scale, or we zoom in and out and the angle changes. Basically, it's weird.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah.
Okay, so anyway, so Maff added these bits here, which is brilliant, because, like, you know, you can just see straight away, okay, well, they're coming together. The price is probably going to go up, and did it, yeah. And then here, looks like the price is going to come down, and it did. So it's super useful. And then since then, Maff has added these extra bits here, which he'll probably talk about in a moment, which is the retracement level thingies that we got there. So at this point, I think what I might do is, because I think you've probably got a long list of topics, because you're all very organized and I'm not generally.
I've got a list of scribbles, to be honest. So we'll see how that goes anyway.
That's good, and that's probably a pen with a bit of paper, isn't it?
Yeah, essentially. Yeah,
which is brilliant. I love non-volatile memory, you know. So a pen and a piece of paper is fantastic. So shall I hand the screen over to you, and you can talk about everything, and meanwhile I'll try and get our logo back and do that.
Yeah, sure. Let's. Actually, I should have pre-shared, and then you could add me in. But let's see.
It's all right. It's all very casual here.
Yeah.
Right. Let's remove me, and then add you.
Okay.
And shall I just put our avatars off for the moment, just so
yeah, sure. It's probably
so you've got the space down at the all right, cool.
Yeah,
okay.
I'll be less self-conscious. By the way, with StreamYard, can you actually move? Is it possible to move the avatars around? Like they could go over the watch list.
There are a few different options. There's like that one there, and then oh, that's not very good. I think I can create a new layout, but I'm not going to do that right now.
No, sure.
Yes, probably
it might. Can do. So,
it might happen in the future.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. What was I going to cover? Well, I suppose we were going to talk a lot about the new features. I mean, particularly that's mainly the retracement pattern. I think there were a couple of requests in the Telegram group to maybe just go through the Quadzilla features generally, which we may not have time to go through all of that. But what I would say is that there's a lot of info anyway about Quadzilla in the about page for the indicator, and also in the tooltips in the settings. So if I go into those just for a second, just hover over those, there's a lot. There's a lot of explanation, and it's quite good to actually read them from the top down on the inputs, because each one, it's structured so each one kind of builds on the previous one. So they do go all the way down through that. Then at this point, there's less explanation, because these are the ones that we generally advise to steer clear of, unless you either just want to just mess things up, or you absolutely know exactly what it is you want to achieve from it, and you understand the different stochastic kind of fields and so on. Mm-hmm. In which case, absolutely go wild if you do understand them, because I think you probably get quite a lot out of that. Huge digression. Sorry. Let's go back to this. So the new version. We could probably talk maybe then about the retracement patterns. So that's an example of one there, because of course this is the new feature that's just gone into the invite only Quadzilla, and it's that basically means that it's not in the sort of free open source publicly available version. So that version is kind of just finished now. It's very much still there, so you can find it within TradingView and try it out. The invite only Quadzilla is also free though, so you may as well just use that. There's just a couple of steps involved, like involved joining the Telegram group, subscribing to the channel here. I think we're including the affiliate link thing now, aren't we, as well? So
yeah, we are. Yeah, because I think we need to pay Maff, but it's all right. It won't cost you a penny. Sort of like it's you just use an exchange and then it will happen automatically.
Yeah, you just pay with your soul. that covers it.
Yeah.
So the retracement pattern then. Obviously, I have talked about this a bit before, so apologies to anyone who's already well familiar with it, but it's probably worth going over it a bit again now anyway. I could go over this one just because it's right there. So what happens? Should I do that? Bring it back. What happens is that here the price is going down. These, I should pretend that the blue candles are red. I switched the colors on these because I was finding that the red candles were just stressing me out. And it's very much associating like red with danger. It's like, oh my god, the price is falling. Everything's going to hell and so on. But this way is quite nice. I think, just a nice sort of happy trip down to zero. And similarly white, just to sort of dissociate a bit more from the sort of green-red thing. So if the price is coming down a lot, you get this these two trend lines, which are the EMA trends. So the let's just quickly show those in here. They're the EMA 21, which is the yellow, and the EMA 55, which is the green, exponential moving average. And so there should be a bit of an explanation. Yeah, so EMAs here. If you see that little glyph in the settings, that means that any of those settings are on this part of the chart. What it's displaying is on this part of the chart. It's a handy little thing. and then everything else is on this panel, a separate bit. So also everything that Quadzilla puts on this area, on the main chart itself, is to do with trend, and everything down here is to do with momentum. So effectively, you can sort of play them off against each other to get a more accurate sort of read of what's going on. Anyway, so the yellow is a 21 EMA, which means that it's faster to react. It's faster moving than the green, which kind of lags behind. But you get a more smoothed out kind of trend reading from that. So obviously it means that if the price has suddenly started like moving down in this case, the yellow will react more quickly, and you see the steeper curve in the drop. The green catches up a little bit later, but in this case the drop is so severe that it is quite quick to turn down as well. So that's happening. So when we see that cross under, even just there, the 21 is crossed under the 55. That usually means that we can expect quite a major price drop. So in other words, the trend is only just getting started. There's a lot more to come, and sure enough, it carries on going. However, the momentum down here is a bit sort of divergent from that. That's kind of saying that it looks like things have dropped into oversold, and potentially we're going to see the price turn around. So that they're both kind of right. It's just that we kind of interpret that oversold as meaning, we're going to see a price reversal. But what it's actually telling it is strictly correct. That it's the momentum has kind of dropped down to this level, so something's going to happen. But because the downward trend is so strong at that point, it doesn't happen straight away, this change. So what we see is that this carries on down, and then because of this, we're going to expect that there's going to be a retracement, and it's going to come back to this line. Sure enough, it pings it exactly. So, woo! So it's kind of spooky. So that, just comes back. In this case, it comes back pretty much exactly to that line, very slightly above it, to the retracement level. And so, and then in fact it drops down again. That's why this is red, because the final part of that retracement pattern, which doesn't always play out, but when it does, is pretty good. The final part is that the price just comes back down again, so you might expect to open a short there. In this case, though, because the trend is also telling us that things are kind of on the up, so you might have second thoughts about placing a short just there. So you kind of read all parts of this to just get a feel for whether that's going to be a good thing or not. So I could maybe draw that. It's probably worth doing, because I often talk about these kind of the 3 steps. Yeah. So just to, how's that going to go? Oh yeah, that's a good one. So, but also let me delete that. So the 3 steps. So the first bit is the initial price move, which in this case is a bearish price move. So kind of from the crossover, should draw it from there. It started happening there. Price comes all the way down. That's step 1. It retraces back to the level. We ideally want it to go kind of a bit more above the level, but in this case it just touched it exactly. So sort of comes up and then drops back down. Really, it's that bit, to be honest. That's the move. No, it's not. That's going backwards, isn't it? It's this is the move there. So it gets to there. So 1, 2, 3. Of course, one pretty much always plays out. Well, as far as I've seen, it always plays out. 2 virtually always plays out. 3 often plays out. So what we can do here then is that, say if you've already opened a short position here, because that was saying, that was kind of confirming that this trend is going to continue downwards, or maybe you just read some other part of the chart and realized that there's a big drop about to happen. FOMC results were incredibly bearish or something like that. That's today, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so that happened. So yeah, you might have a short going there. When this appears, then that'd be confirmation, like, well, hey, we're getting oversold here, but it's probably fine to keep the short open, because the price is very likely still going to drop a lot more than it does. So that's there. If you have some kind of magic 8 ball or whatever, then you know to close the short at exactly the tip of that wick. We all get that perfectly every time. So obviously it's short that at some point around there. Maybe when this has started to, I mean, it would be, wouldn't it? You might have a trailing stop behind that, or nudging the stop loss down, or an actual take profit level already drawn in, for, like, planned out the trade. So anyway, at that point, you might think, well, okay, this is saying that it's very likely that the price is going to retrace to at least this level. So now I could open a long, probably keep that open, take profit, of course, but keep the position open, may as well, because that might well have just carried on up for a while. So it's always worth keeping a bit of bit of money in the position for that. And then when it turns, what you could do, if you set a trigger short, maybe at that level, or if it's gone a lot higher, then maybe slightly up here. It depends kind of what your plan is, how you're trading. But you set a trigger short so that when it comes back down and goes past, it reaches that level wherever you set it, it'll open the short position, and then you get kind of whatever's left of that. So it's kind of like a confirmation that the price is coming in this direction, so you could probably open the short. And that's that, really. That's the 3 steps.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like it, because, like, say in that example there, where the prices come down, if you miss the short, then you're down at the bottom, and you're thinking,
Yeah.
okay, I might long it on the way back up. You pretty much know that you're going to run into a bit of resistance when you get to that red retracement line, aren't you? So
Yeah.
that might be a bit where you might want to take a bit of profit, or rethink it, or whatever. So
Yeah, usually. So yeah, so it's a bit of confirmation, really, of these things. So yeah, what I was going to say is it also adds to the, so that as you can see there, those green triangles in this red one, that's the trend shield, which is kind of so in fact that's mostly actually based on the still on the momentum calculations, but it's kind of a indication that in this case here, this has gone into, if the momentum has moved into overbought, then you might expect the price to come back down, but these light up saying, well, hang on, there's still potentially a bit of upside to go there yet, so don't go short just yet. Maybe ideally until either these disappear, or they start to fade out, and and also you've done some other TA and reckon that it's probably good thing to go short there now. In fact, sure enough, that obviously does a little bit after that. In that case, it does come back down quite nicely. So in this case, this red triangle gets added by the retracement pattern, or as part of it. So when this appears, it just adds to the trend shield just there, to indicate that even though this green background has appeared, then but we still kind of expect the price to come down quite a bit, so don't go long just yet. So that it all kind of works together to kind of give you these kind of like different indications. So like if there is divergence on one or the other, then you kind of take them both together to decide which way to go. And usually the trend takes precedence, just because it's kind of what's happening right now. I mean, the momentum is as well, but the trend is more immediate, I think. So if they if they're divergent, if they're in excuse me, if they're in disagreement with each other, then usually the one to believe, as it were, would be the trend in that case, and then use this as an indication that something is going to happen still, but it might be a little bit afterwards. Should we find a different one?
Yeah, sure.
Quite often on the 3 minutes, there's quite a lot happening. Yeah, okay. So on this one, we can see here that this bullish retracement level has painted, and in fact, one thing I didn't mention was why it shows up, or why it decides to show up. So right. The reason is that if the background paints down here, must be that one. Yeah, that one. Because of course it's got the trend shield comes up as well. So if the background is turned red in this case, but the 21 EMA has crossed above the 55 EMA, then they're disagreeing. So this gets painted in to say, well, okay, right, at about this level, the price is going to come back down. So it's actually those together.
Mm-hmm.
If there's the background painted and the crossover, and the place that it paints is at the open of the candle where the cross is. So it's not actually at the cross level itself, like there, the cross is there, but this actually paints down there because that's the candle at the time. If that makes sense.
All right.
So it's the it's a candle open. You can change that if you want. So this is the default. Oh, actually, yeah, I think we need to update the defaults, so that there might be just a slight new version coming up. But I think people in the Telegram already know that they can just change the settings a bit to the ones that I mentioned, which I'll mention now, in fact. So yeah, I think the default for within number of bars in the current release is 7, but you probably get more occurrences of this sort of thing if you nudge it up to 12. 12 seems about right, but you can always have a play with that and see. And the bearish and bullish levels, if they're set to open and open, then that just seems to be a bit, I think it's a bit more cautious, it's a bit safer. If you wanted to get like a really good, potentially a better long position, then you could set that, and that's bearish. For bullish, you could set that to the, which way around is it? In fact, the low, pretty much where it is, because there was no wick on that. So it stays the same. But I guess there's a very slight wick there. Let me just. So on this one here, just to sort of exaggerate the effect a bit, on that one. So for the bearish, set it to the. So if you wanted to get a good position open on that, you set it if you wanted to short, you set that to the high, because obviously you want to get in as early as possible on that, so you get more of a short position, like so. So those are to get the best entries, but sometimes you find that it occasionally kind of misses the retracement. So like the price might come back up, but actually just kind of miss that line and just drop back down again. So that level is never reached. You sort of see that sometimes. Whereas if you keep it open and open, then it just seems to be more reliable. But the offset is that you don't necessarily always get that kind of better entry to the position. We'll set these back actually. So open and 12 for those. Reset that a bit. So yeah, this is actually a really nice example just here of it playing out. So on in fact, yeah, these two, I think people in the Telegram group this morning might have been getting a bit fed up with me. I think because I was pasting these screenshots in with sort of "ooh, wow" comments. Well, not specifically, but saying, I wonder if this is going to play out, and then played out and said, exactly as predicted, and then this one played out as well. So it's a bit sort of smug mode. It's a Red Dwarf reference, if anyone was wondering. So this one. So again,
it wasn't quite my thing actually. I'd loads of mates who were into Red Dwarf, but I wasn't particularly, unfortunately. No.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry, lost on me. Sorry.
Probably on most people watching, I would think as well. It's probably a bit dated now. So yeah, basically, so for this one, I could probably, mind you, it's like spoiler alert. That's what happens. So I was going to say I could replay. Maybe just do that for fun. Oh yeah, probably also worth mentioning that the when the retracement line starts to draw in is at the point where the arrowhead is. So you don't actually see it before that. That line just suddenly appears, and it's because that's the point where the background appears down there. Yeah, and then it's got that cross happening and the background. Sorry, that one. So if I kind of go to there, let's replay that. So at this point, we sort of probably looking for scalp moves because it's on the 3 minute, and yeah, so that's just turned bullish. You'd be thinking, oh wow, okay, this is going to look good. You might even take a long position there, or might even have been long from somewhere down here, especially when it's at the convergence zone started painting as well. So that sort of continues. Power now at this point, we're like, yay, we're rolling now. We're in a decent position there. Oh no, it's coming back down. Yeah, it's going back up. I may have rewound too far. Yeah, so at this point it's come down. So yeah, here Quadzilla painted in the red background, and because the momentum here has moved into overbought, and but also we very recently had that crossover, and that would have happened within the 12 bars that we set there. So now, because of those two things, that this draws in, and it's at the open of that bearish candle in this case, where the crossover happened. So, and then so at this point we're thinking, okay, that there might actually still be a bit of upside in that. Pretty likely it's going to come back down though. It's going to retrace at least to that level. So we could sort of prepare, I suppose, to open a long position when it comes down to here. So that might carry on. In fact, there's a bit more upside there because that's so steep. It's obviously very, very, very bullish at that point. What's it do? How far up did that go? Now you notice that the background is more solid now.
Yeah.
So it's saying, honest, this time it's really coming down, I promise. Not promise, not financial advice. So is that the one? It's going a bit undecided. Well, it's a little bit doji-ish, that candle. Is it going to, so like it's that, and also it's going into a bit of a kind of liquidity type of sideways movement there. Okay. The gods decided it's going that way. There we go. That was a pretty major blow off top, really. And back down. You notice that the background started to paint there, but then it changed its mind, saying like the EMA trend lines might be starting to come together. Just speed that up a bit. It starts to become like watching paint dry, I think. Is it going to come down? Come on. Yeah, that's better. Come on. Back down it comes. I really should have started the replay here, shouldn't I? Come on. For God's sake. Bloody hell. Come on. John, this is a replay as well. I know what happens.
All right, okay.
And well, because we saw the whole thing, so it's like, but I'm still being caught out by it. There we go.
There you go.
Good. So at this point, it's come down below the retracement level, but you wouldn't actually like open the long straight away because there's pretty likely to be some downside. It could come all the way down to there or whatever. But what you could do is maybe just open up a trigger long at that level, or maybe some distance below it. Maybe it's where there's some liquidity like there or whatever, depending how far down it goes. And in fact, I suppose that the further that drops down, you can always move the trigger level down to one of these areas. But of course, the ideal thing there is that because that long position isn't open yet, so you won't be sweating and going like, oh my god, I'm just totally underwater here. This is awful. It's just waiting for a good entry.
I mean, this is the 3-minute time frame, so obviously, it's quite exaggerated. What's the speed of things happening, isn't it? And yeah.
To be honest, probably the amount I'm talking is probably taking more than 3 minutes for each candle anyway. Let's come back to the level. So I guess the trigger order would trigger just there. Start to go long, and off it goes in a good long position. Coming back. Yeah, that one played out really nicely.
Beautiful. Oh yeah.
And crossover again. So you start to think like, well, if this is happening again, are we going to see a repeat of that pattern?
Right.
So you'd kind of hope that this will top again, and we'll see a red background come up again. I mean, that's wonderful thing to behold. I mean, it's so zoomed in. It is a bit exaggerated. That is only 0.3%. So,
Yeah.
but I suppose, yeah, if you're on a 10x, not advising that, but if you're on a 10x, it's a 3% move.
Yeah.
In that sense. So yeah, there we go. It's a nice red background. Trend shield lights up because that's appeared, because it detected that happened within a few bars of that happening. So this is now predicting, I suppose, or indicating, not really predicting, it's indicating that the price is very likely going to come down here. So the 3 steps, we've had like step 1, hopefully we're about to get step 2, and we might see step 3. Coming down, going up. Good. We're also getting the convergence zone, which is indicating that that things are on the downward slope. So sort of trend-wise, EMA trend-wise there. Good. Okay, came back down. So same sort of thing. Up here, if you were trusting trust the process, so if you're trusting the process, then you might have opened up a short up here, thinking, well, I'm pretty confident that the price is going to come back down at least to this level. And you might have some take profit set for here, maybe 40% or something like that, but keeping the stop loss just behind it. And boom. Yeah. So again, it's good that we wouldn't be opening the long just yet. And it's probably good that there's still some margin left in the short position. So that's still profiting on the way down. You notice here the momentum is starting to come round. So that suggests that this may be about to run out of steam.
Yeah.
Even though that's still on its way, but that may not totally play out there.
Just look at this comment here from the Max saying, how do you get the convergence fill? I guess you're talking about the convergence fill between the EMAs. That is part of the indicator. That is part of the code that the Maff has done here. So
yeah,
it does that out of the box. So yeah, that's what it does. It just does purple for bearish and it does green for bullish. So
yeah,
that's what happens.
We went for the purple because partly it's a pretty color, but also just so it wasn't clashing too much. So if you got like red candles, it just made things a bit unclear what was merging in with them. So and also it just made it could end up making the whole chart look a bit kind of red and negative and so on.
I'm just wondering if the Max is thinking about when I was using the CT MAC indicator, because all that was I was just using that to show the EMAs. But what we decided was that it's actually quite a basic feature, and it didn't make sense to have an extra indicator to just do that. So what Maff did, he built it into Quadzilla. So that created the EMAs up there. And also, if you want, you can actually add the other 2 EMAs that I've always used, which is the 5 and the 9. That is that's kind of optional. Yeah, you can show that to do that. But obviously, Maff being Maff, he's taken it a step further and done the shading thing and also done the retracement thing as well, which is all like amazing.
Yeah.
Mr. Delta, bonsoir, everyone. Sorry.
So some people like the SMA 200 as well.
Yes.
Which is so. I mean, I quite often have that on, to be honest. Although less and less, to be honest. It's but what I find is that it's like a sort of wavy sort of support resistance line quite often. Not so much showing on here, but I think often on the higher time frames, it seems to level out and it's often like the price just seems to come down kind of right to it and bounce away virtually. Or the other way.
Yeah. So if it's if it's above it, it's generally going to come down to it, and if it's below, it's generally going to go up to it at some point. That's about it, really, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, pretty much. There you go. So that's just. So that should now come back up to there. So yeah, that was just a lovely short position if anyone happens to catch that. And now that this is showing here that the momentum is starting to sort of peter out a little bit, and it's, as you'd expect. Is that going to happen? Well, spoiler alert, it does come back up. In fact, yeah, there's that one plays out probably a bit too quickly. It's just its its magic prediction plays out like immediately. So because the price move there was just so quick. As it happened. Yeah, there you go. So it's come back up. So the the long trigger position would trigger, and then hopefully that'll go off. And but it does. Yeah.
So the max is saying, but the shading doesn't appear. I actually wonder if you've got an old version of the original one. Just to clarify, what we've done now, we've got the original open source one that you'll find in TradingView by searching for it. That one is still alive and well. And that does have the shading thing on it, I think. But what we're looking at here, we're looking at the new. We're calling it the premium version, but it is still free as long as you follow a few sort of steps and things. I'll just, I need to create a new banner thing. But essentially, if you go to the link that's in the description of this stream, I think that should. I think. Let me have a look.
Probably bring that.
Did I did put it in there, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
I did have it as
savewith.crypto.org/QZ.
QZ, because that now redirects to the Google form, which has got everything in it now, and that also will have a video as well to guide you through it in later on today.
That's obviously what I get, but you'd get a nice form that tells you kind of what you need to do and things. And join the Telegram group as well. It's, very important.
Otherwise, you won't know what we're talking about.
I think in the updates for the free, like for the open source version, it doesn't have the shaded background now. If that version has gone out.
I haven't actually done that yet, so I'm going to keep quiet about that for the moment. All I'm going to say is just get this one. Just go to savewithcrypto.org/QZ and just follow the instructions there, and your life will be better.
Yeah, it's very much that, because the invite only version now is, as we were saying before, it's still free. So why not? Just get access to it, and then you'll have access to all the updates, because there are all sorts of updates and things that we've got planned on that. So that one actually is still on 3 minute. It's quite a nice one that just played out. There's a heck of a thing.
On okay. Let me take a look. I know it's going a bit wild, isn't it? I'm not.
Did you put the what will be the new default settings? So in here, to make sure that you got open, and within number of bars should be 12. I think the default is 7 at the moment.
Hang on a sec. Hang on. Don't move too quick. So what am I looking at? Which
so
section?
under retracement pattern, inputs, retracement pattern, draw bullish and bearish levels at blah and blah, open and open.
Right. So
and
I'm looking at it on the
and within number of bars, set that to 12.
So 2 open within number of bars is, what does that say, 12?
Should be 12.
So I'm looking at it on the StreamYard thing. I should make it bigger, really. That's better.
That's the sort of thing that would make you travel sick, wouldn't it? Because like everything's got a 3-second delay or whatever.
Yeah, so 12 and 80, and then that's it, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, right, let's save that. Oh, right, okay, yeah, all right, okay, yeah, I'm seeing the same as you now.
Okay.
Oh,
great.
okay.
So the next update that goes out, we'll just make sure that that's got that those are the default settings, I think. Because when this started out, I actually initially had the within number of bars set to 3, because I thought that was kind of nice and sensible. Because maybe if the price moved along just too far away from the event, then maybe it wouldn't be valid anymore. But as it turns out, it's just still, it's surprising how much further out it can play. But I did try it with much higher values as well, just to see, but it did start to go a bit unreliable. So actually, Kaz was just saying, makes sense why I can't see that yet. so he'll amend the settings as well in his. So
yeah.
So yeah, generally found that 12 seems to be the optimum for that.
Okay, so what are we actually looking at with Bitcoin here? Then we're looking at.
So I'll just for clarity, I'll do that for now, so you can see what's what. Sorry.
So what?
Yeah.
So what settings are you on now? Are you on the default or the?
I just removed the other two EMAs, the other three, the two EMAs and the 200 MA.
Oh, okay, right, okay.
Just so we can see it a bit more clearly for now.
Okay, all right, all right. So right, so we got so that just to clarify a little bit. So that last green retracement thing, just before it did that kind of Burj Khalifa thing. So that was saying, okay, it's bullish, it's going to go up, but it's probably going to come back to this level, which is exactly what it's done.
Yeah.
And that's it, really, isn't it? That's
so that's step 1 and step 2, and then what we always hope for is that there's going to be a step 3, which is
going up.
Yeah, also that's why the line is drawn in green, because it's a bullish one. I mean, obviously there's bullish in that case, but it's also very much that we hope that the price is going to retrace back to here and then turn around again and carry on bullish.
Okay.
So I'm going to do this again just to show that, because as I was saying, I talk a lot about the 3 steps. So it's worth keeping them in mind. So the first one is that the initial price move, then obviously the retrace, which comes back down to here, and because so in this case that is just really nice. Actually, I'll just draw it. That is really nice where it comes down to there. It goes slightly below the line, because it kind of gives a bit of time to open up the long position and get that rolling, and also to maybe so if you've got a short going on there, to just kind of deal with that first, deal with the profit taking and closing off the short and so on before getting the long set up as well.
I'm just looking at Max here saying he has got the invite one. Okay, so you must have the same one as me. I mean, are you looking at Bitcoin? I'm looking at BTC USDT perpetual contract. I think Maff is looking at the index chart.
Yeah.
They're all going to be slightly different, and we're also looking at the 3-minute time frame. So we're seeing these a lot more often than what you'd see, for example, on the 1 hour time frame. So that might be why you're seeing that. Kaz is saying that. Okay, all right, all right. Okay,
yeah,
and, Mr. Delta's got a bloody good point here. Actually, 3 more likes, please. Go on. And crypto coding fitness, are the green lines fair value gaps? No, they're not, are they?
They're not. Thank you. It's like a stooge in the audience, isn't it? So we've never met before, have we? No. I mean, we haven't. This was something that I actually wanted to talk about, the fair value gap. I was thinking I really ought to start making sense in a minute.
You're not an Alan Partridge fan by any chance, are you?
I really enjoyed like the day-to-day, and obviously Alan Partridge. I'm Alan Partridge as well.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. No, I'm just I was thinking it reminded me of the bit where he's doing his book launch, and he says like, any more questions, and someone goes, well, your book's called Bouncing Back, but you haven't really bounced back, have you? He said, like, no, not you, the lady behind you. And that's like Lynn, his secretary, saying, no, where can we get the Alan Partridge blazer and pen set or whatever? Anyway, so it reminded me of that. Anyway, right, I digress.
Only official questions allowed. The fair value gap. Because I was trying to figure out why this keeps working, why it keeps happening. It's a bit spooky because it does keep sort of playing out over and over.
What's the point? How did you stumble across it?
Well, just sort of noticed really that, and if I switch it off for a second, inputs, find the right thing. So just sort of realized, because I mean, obviously on here there's lots of red and green backgrounds on these, but it was just a case of I mean, that's not probably the one we're looking at. It's the best example. Delete that. Like, well, this has happened, but then that red background happened.
Right.
So, but the price seems to come back down and then do that. So I did talk about it in a live stream maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, but I don't think anyone really knew what I was talking about. So I sort of went through it, and I got the impression that maybe I was just
does that happen often?
Talking. I don't know, whatever the phrase is, talking in code or whatever. Yeah, it happens a lot. You get people's eyes glaze over.
I get the same, to be honest.
They're hearing me, but they're not hearing me. Or they're listening, but they're not hearing. And it's never actually their fault. I think it's just that I sort of maybe failed to notice that I've probably leapt ahead or whatever. Like, and if they were explaining a concept to me, similarly, my eyes would glaze over.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, well, I don't like to say anything right now because he seems so keen on what he's talking about. Anyway, off I went on a ramble there. So, what was I talking? Oh yeah, so this sort of thing. Yeah, it just seemed. I did notice it was happening a lot. So it's one of those cases where I just thought, well, I wonder if I can code that, or with Claude's help, to be honest, Claude AI. In that case, get it to help me code that, and that's kind of what happened. So from that, just when it added it, actually I'll put that back in now, because they are a bit difficult to spot when it doesn't have that line coming in. But it is a similar thing with the where is it? Similar thing with the convergence zones that see with those now, it's easy to spot them because it's drawn a line wherever they happen. I mean that one, it kind of like ended a bit prematurely because it's like it got stopped out, hoisted by its own stop loss, because it just kind of went bit. So it finished. It kind of like finished before it started, really. But really, that actually played out. So it got all the way to there. So that was a valid retracement. So it's still worth paying attention to those ones. If it just seemed like a stray candle wick has sort of stopped it before it had a chance to play out, then it's worth just keeping in mind that that's probably still valid. And in fact, sure enough, like, bang bang, that played out quite nicely. Or did it? No, sorry. I better correct that. I think because with these ones, with the bearish ones, you'd expect the price to do that, to come down, then back up, and then down. So to be fair, yeah, that one is kind of valid because there's a tiny little candle wick. So it played out. It's just like microscopic. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the price did come back down and go back up, but it's just like you have to really squint to see it. There's a little wick there. Kind of the same with that one. That wicked down and came back up. It just kind of happened within the same candle.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Go on.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I think your audio's gone a bit strange. Is your connection okay?
It probably isn't. It does that sometimes. Yeah.
Just went a little bit Dalek-y for a while, So on the current, I'm looking now on Bitcoin index chart, 3 minute. So I've got the green retracement coming up. Just like what you got there. I've also got a little green triangle at the end of that, sort of pointing upwards.
Oh, on this one?
No, on the right hand side, on the far right hand side. Yeah, just round about there. I've got a little green triangle for some reason.
Okay, yeah, that's correct behavior. Actually, because this is a locally modified version of it. So that was kind of an experimental feature, which I'll probably undo that because I wanted to see if it kind of works correctly. So the idea was that it wouldn't always put the go long triangle in there. So the idea was to just make it, like with these, the go shorts. It kind of makes them a bit more visual in that. Actually, you know what? I'll bring up.
So what's the criteria for that appearing then?
Let's bring up real Quadzilla. You can see the difference. So if I hide that one for a moment, let that one. Oh, this is. One second. 12. Open. Yeah. So on the same version that you've got, the triangle shows up. So I don't think I'll put in the experimental feature that I was working on because I don't think it's very good. But so it'll stay as this, I think.
Okay.
So
shall I ignore that for the time being?
Yeah, I mean, so it's just a visual thing, so it kind of indicates that the main part of the structure has played out. But as a final parting word, it's sort of saying, well, okay, it's now dropped down below that below the retracement level, so you may want to consider placing a long position. So it's just like a little reminder to do that.
Okay.
But because that third step, that bounce back up, doesn't always play out. It's much more of it. Well, it's all an advisory, but that in itself is just an advisory saying, maybe do this, maybe don't do that. The experimental feature, the idea behind that was that sometimes this would show and sometimes not, depending on how confident it felt that the price is going to go back up. But that's going to need a bit more work if it goes in at all. So,
okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's good. So I actually guess what's probably going to happen to the price is probably nothing now until the FOMC. And then it'll probably just wiggle up and down a little bit, and then I don't know. I mean, it normally changes a little bit when they do the little questions afterwards, don't they? Because normally someone says something stupid or
yeah, that's true. It's
unexpected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think is he on his way? Is he actually on his way out? Do you think? Is he?
Oh, I think his actual term of office ends in January. I think it is.
Yeah.
So I think he'll probably just do that, won't he? I suppose.
Yeah. So soldier on through.
Yeah, I quite like him. I quite like him.
Yeah.
Jerome Powell.
Yeah, he's sort of holds true to his plan. He doesn't get swayed by popularity or unpopularity or whatever.
Yeah.
So at least he's consistent in that sense.
Yeah.
So that doesn't necessarily bow to political pressure, to sort of raise or lower interest rates or whatever, which is good. I mean, I really wish he would lower the bleeding interest rates, to be fair.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's also, I think, extremely good that there is that clear and obvious separation between the presidency and the Fed. It's kind of important.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Have you got anything else on your list?
Oh yeah, I was going to talk. I suppose, in fact, I started to talk about the fair value gap, and then just got very sidetracked. I think just talking about a bunch of other things. Have we got time? Because it's probably quite a lot to.
It's up to you. I mean, if you want to. If you want to save it for another time, I don't mind. Unless anyone's got any questions in the comments at the moment. What I kind of feel we ought to do is I or we should probably make some sort of like fairly short, but sort of like fairly short but simple-ish sort of tutorial videos, and I think that'd be quite a good thing to do, really. So then we can point people towards various things. I think that would be a good thing to do.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we could potentially do it so that, I mean, there might be segments from this live stream that you could kind of copy paste into a recorded video, or we could just do a separate recording, and then similarly you can copy paste. So where I start rambling too much or going too much into the weeds, into the detail.
Or I completely distract you, and
yeah, exactly. So, well, not, but it could just be sort of edited into something relatively coherent, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Right. So Space Cat's here. Hello. I've got to learn some Portuguese. I don't know anything apart from obrigado, and that's about it, really.
Quick comment there. I noticed that Iad is on the call, so he's just saying hi.
Okay.
So yeah. He was worried about if he'd be able to make it or not.
Okay. We can probably leave it there, to be honest, because I've got a few things to do because I'm going to go away tomorrow. So wanted to make a video in advance, stuff like that. But it's all looking pretty awesome, and yeah, it's only going to get better. And
hopefully,
I think
fingers crossed. It gets better. Yeah.
Do we need to cross fingers? No, it's going to be.
No.
It's going to be amazing. It's great. Yeah. So I think I'm. I think I'm gonna. Might crack open a beer actually and casually watch the FOMC. You know, quite weird how my life's changed, really.
That's your idea of a good time.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, yeah. I think,
I'm sure,
those sorts of things always are a bit entertaining.
Sure, it wasn't always like that, but anyway. But yeah, okay. Mr. Dad saying tutorial video would be good. Yeah, I mean the thing is, there's different aspects of it. I'm kind of thinking like it'd be good if someone says, you know, what's the shading all about, then we can just say watch this video here, or if they say, you know, tell us how these retracement things work, and then you know, but I think we can do that. Yeah, I mean the point is the way we've done it is it's kind of like organically grown, hasn't it, from not a lot really into something that's actually quite useful. But at the same time, if you kind of grow with it, it sort of doesn't seem particularly complicated. But obviously if you come into it from fresh and you look at it, you think, well, what's that all about and what does that do? And but essentially, I mean the actual elements to it, there's well, not sure really. There's a few different things here and there, but there's, I'm trying to think now. You got the background colors, you got the background colors.
I counted maybe, I think it's 8 different.
Oh, okay,
things.
yeah, that's kind of what I'd guess actually. Yeah. So obviously, getting your brain to think about 8 things at once is one thing, but at the same time, generally what you're looking for the convergence band down at the bottom. You're looking for that squishing up down the bottom or squishing up down the top, really, for those reversals. That's generally what we're looking for. And then the other bits we've got are kind of like confirmations of that, and then sort of like other tools you can use within it. So yeah.
So the idea with the different bits is very much that they complement each other. So it's like visual things, like, I suppose. I mean, to be fair, that there actually are a lot of different visual components. I've been trying to kind of pull that back a bit, but things that complement each other, like on the green backgrounds, the super up, and when they show on the red backgrounds, the super down. So there's like a reinforcement of that. It's just like saying, green backgrounds, but even more so. And similarly, the trend shields are like, they're sort of saying, kind of what it's saying, but even less so.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. Similarly, I suppose the convergence zones, they're really, again, they're meant to kind of complement the EMAs, rather than being an entirely different thing. So it's always a bit of a trade-off, I think, because things like the retracement levels, that was obviously worth adding a whole new thing in that case, because they seem to be pretty effective. But I think we'd both be kind of a bit reticent about adding lots of different things that it's showing versus just trying to reinforce what's already there and make those bits work better, or slight visual tweaks so they show things a bit more, So,
I think so. Brilliant. All right. Okay, well, let's leave it there. So if you want to get hold of this indicator, the link for it is in the description down below. It is free of charge. The way we decided to do it is we'd like you to use one of the exchanges that we're affiliated to, and to be honest, the top one, BitUnix, I think there's not really any reason why most people in the world can't sign up to that, because it's no KYC. You can use it in any country apart from China, Iran, and North Korea, and what else? And you don't need a VPN anywhere, so you could sign up there, and then that's part of the deal, because then when you trade on it, we get a little bit of money from that, and then we can use that to make the general service better and everything like that. So there's BitUnix there, there's Blofin as well. Blofin's really good. You have to use a VPN in certain places. But BitUnix, I think I'm going to have like a really good offer, like a deposit bonus offer thing. I did speak to the girl there earlier on today, and she's going to prepare that. So I should have that ready for everyone tonight, and I will let you all know in the Telegram group. And if you're not in the Telegram group, you can go to savewith.crypto.org/TG, and you get into the Telegram announcement channel, which is where I will announce it. And if you want to have a chat with us, then there's a pinned message at the top of that where it tells you how to get into Save with Crypto Club, which is where we can have a chat. So hopefully I'll see you all over there. But yeah, that's about it really. So yeah, thanks very much, Maff, for coming on, and we'll do this again. Yeah, we'll do it next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, I'm actually going to be in Spain, but I think it'll be all right. I can't see it being a problem.
Live streaming next to the swimming pool.
Yeah, that's the plan. Actually, well, we have actually got I'm actually staying in a villa with its own little pool, so it's actually quite cool. So it's actually it's our own private pool, so that's going to be really nice.
Yeah. So is this basically where the night before you'll have crashed the green Lambo into the swimming pool? So have that in the background.
well, weirdly enough, how they've actually done it, I think they've actually done something like that, because there's like there's a kind of gate outside the house which looks like it should be a driveway, but it's actually a swimming pool, and I think they've actually turned the driveway into a swimming pool.
Oh, wow.
So I was actually thinking like that, well, if someone does it wrong, or someone opened what they thought was the garage door and then just drove in, they would actually drive into the swimming pool. So but I think it's one of those things where it's one of those things where cars have got wider and bigger, and no one parks in. But it's not. I say it's a driveway. It's more like a garage door with no back to it, if you like. And then there's the swimming pool. So I don't know.
Yeah,
it's just a little terraced house in the same.
So you wouldn't necessarily turn up you wouldn't want to turn up in a little Fiat or a Cinquecento or Fiat 500 or something.
No, probably not. I think I'll just park in the road. Anyway, I'm getting a higher car, but I think I went for something like a Golf or equivalent or something like that.
Yeah, so something wide, just to make sure.
So
it's be on the safe side.
So no Lambo this time, no, unfortunately. But yeah. So the only thing is, like 2 weeks' time, I will probably actually be on a plane at that point, and not quite sure how to do that. I think what we could do is we could do one of them premiere things, where we sort of have something to show and then we can respond to it, like we did before when we did whatever it was we did before. But anyway, we'll work it out, or I could just do it on a time when I'm not on a plane. That might be the way to go.
Or just change the day or something. We'll figure it out. I think,
I'm sure. But anyway, no, I'm not going to Mallorca. I'm going to it's near Marbella, actually. Yeah, down there. But but should be nice. All right, brilliant. Oh, thanks again. Thanks for everyone for coming along. Please do click like on the way out, and do make sure you are subscribed and you've got the notifications set on all, and above all, tell your friends. All right, bye.